10 tips for the writing section of IELTS. The IELTS writing section has 2 tasks, general and academic, and it is 60 minutes long. If you're doing academic writing, you will be presented with a graph, table, chart, or diagram and asked to describe, summarize, or explain the information in your own words. You may be asked to describe and explain data, describe stages of a process, how something works, or describe an object or event. If you chose general, you will be presented with a situation and asked to write a letter requesting information or explaining a situation. The letter may be personal, semi-formal, or formal in style. Task 2 is 40 minutes long. You will be asked to write an essay in response to a point of view, argument, or problem. Essay plan. Writing down a short essay plan before you start writing will help you to use your time efficiently. When you know what you're going to write next, you won't panic or pause in between each paragraph to think. When you read or listen to the task, write down the outline for your essay. Introduction. Restate the question and provide an answer. Give a summary of what point you will be arguing. Body. Give a detail plus an example. The example can come from personal experience or the text. Very important, don't quote directly from the text. Paraphrase instead. I'll explain it in tip 4. Paragraph conclusion. End each paragraph with a clear conclusion sentence. Depending on the test, you can have 3 to 5 body paragraphs. Conclusion. Summarize what you explained in the body. Restate your answer. During the essay, you want to have a clear opinion and stick to it. Do not try to argue both sides of a point. Give a short call to action. What does it mean? What do you want the reader to think? Idioms. Bigger fish to fry, a chip off the old block, hit the nail on the head. These are all examples of English idioms. One of the most difficult things for English learners is learning all the different idioms found in the English language. There are many common and not so common idioms. If you don't understand the context and nuance of using them, your writing, speaking and understanding will suffer. I wrote a book with 1,000 idioms that every English learner should know. It gives an explanation of the idiom as well as an example of how to use it. You can find it in the description below. Take notes. Whether you get a reading passage or listening piece for the task, your job is to stay focused and take notes. Write down the author's position and main points. You don't need to take extensive notes on the passage, just the key points and information that you can use for your essay. Overthinking the hook. Some students tend to overthink the opening line of the essay. This problem is really common. For some reason, students think that they need to start with something really interesting that draws the attention of the reader. As a result, they waste precious time. Honestly, the opening line isn't that important. Spend no more than a minute on your hook. Just starting will give you momentum instead of stressing about what you will write. Write something quick and grammatically correct. If the essay is about classes at university, try something like, it is critically important that students enjoy all their classes. That's about all you need. Don't obsess over the hook. You don't need to hook anyone. Don't quote. For the integrated writing task, you are expected to explain the positions of the author and the professor in your own words. It is very important, therefore, to paraphrase everything. This is especially true of the reading passage. Remember, while you are writing your essay, the reading section will be right in front of you. If you directly quote the author, the E-rater system will pick up on it, and this can lead to a reduction in your score. For example, let's say the reading passage states, there are many people who argue that corn ethanol should replace fossil fuel gas as the primary source for running cars. Don't say in your answer, the author discusses how there are many who would argue that corn ethanol should replace fossil fuel gas as the primary source for running cars. This is a huge mistake that many students make. Instead, paraphrase the author's position, such as, the author discusses the advantages of switching from fossil fuels to the alternative energy source, corn-based ethanol. Transitional phrases. Add transitional phrases to improve your score. To sequence points and reasons, organizing points made in each passage, first sentence of each body paragraph. And then, first of all, firstly, in the first place, first and foremost, firstly, secondly, thirdly, next, after that, meanwhile, lastly, later, finally, while. To elaborate, reporting on points from the listening passage in body paragraphs. When explaining your reason, usually the second sentence in the body. When developing your personal example. Above all, actually, additionally, as well as a matter of fact, in addition, believe it or not, furthermore, indeed, in fact, just as, moreover, more importantly, too. To illustrate, when introducing your personal example or anecdote, as an illustration, for example, for instance, I remember when, such as. Time management. For the integrated writing task, you only have 20 minutes to write your essay. Therefore, while time management is important throughout the test, it is especially important in this task. You should spend approximately 2 minutes taking notes and outlining your answer, 3 minutes writing your introduction paragraph, 11 minutes writing the body paragraphs, 2 minutes for the conclusion, and the last 3 minutes for editing. Make an outline. Making an outline is a good idea for any writing task, but especially important for independent writing. Unlike the integrated essay, this answer must come completely from you. With only 30 minutes to write your answer, it is important to come up with a plan first. Here are the kinds of questions you can expect. Do you agree or disagree with the statement? What is your opinion on the topic? Which one would you choose, A, B, or C? What are the advantages and disadvantages? Next, write down 2 strong arguments or reasons that you can make to support your position. Don't try to write more than 2, since you only have 30 minutes to write a strong and detailed essay. Finally, in your outline, write down a personal example that you can use in your answer to illustrate each one of your reasons. Main point, reason 1, personal example 1. Reason 2, personal example 2. Have a clear opinion. Is it better to study in a group or to study on your own? Of course, sometimes you would prefer to work alone, and at other times it would be best to team up with a group. However, don't do that on test day. Do not write 1 paragraph in favor and 1 paragraph against. Leave your personal feelings aside and take 1 clear and specific stand. Think of your independent essay as a persuasive essay. Your job is to convince the reader to agree with your opinion. It's much easier to do that when you argue from a single perspective. Therefore, choose the side that you agree with the most, or have the best personal example that will highlight this position, and stick to your side. Conclusion sentences. Be sure to always include a conclusion sentence at the end of each body paragraph that will connect back to your main point. In other words, the last sentence of each body paragraph should always connect to the main argument, thus addressing the question directly. While commonly forgotten by students, this will help keep you focused on the main idea of your essay. It is easy to get sidetracked while writing, especially about a personal experience. So here is the general makeup of your body paragraph. 1 sentence providing the reason for your opinion, 1 to 3 sentences further explaining your reason, 3 to 5 sentences explaining your personal example that supports your reason, 1 concluding sentence that connects your personal example back to your stance on the topic. Don't forget this. Time to edit. One of the best writing tips I could possibly share here is to leave yourself time to edit. Plan on finishing your essay with at least a few minutes left to edit your essay. It's annoying, I know, especially since at this point you have been busy writing for so long. You will be ready to go home and relax. But remember, there is no spell check on the exam. That's right, you will be responsible for finding spelling and grammar mistakes yourself. Also, be sure to pay special attention to spacing and punctuation. So, to prepare for the exam, always give yourself a couple of minutes to proofread your essays. And starting now, write your practice answers with spell check turned off. Mastering the writing section of English language tests requires consistent effort and practice.